Alright gang, welcome back to our Can You Survive 25 challenge here on Zielonka. It is September, and we are going to get some canola back in the ground today. Couple things. So we talked about in the last episode about what we're going to do as far as, moving the yard around, right? Ooh, actually I need to put some lime down on these fields, don't I? I forgot about that. I can do this field though, but so we'll have to do the lime first. Well, I guess we can do it after. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Anyway, we talked about in the last episode, what we're going to do with the yard, right? I said I wanted to move it somewhere more in a centralized location. Realistically, it's either going to be here or here, kind of leaning towards here. It's not the flattest land in the world, so we're going to have to see what we can do with that. I think for the time being, even though it may not make us as much money in the long run, I'm not going to re-drill 56 or 58 for right now. Until we actually figure out what we're going to do, right, with our yard. Because it's all the way down here, which is fine, but it's a pretty far drive to get up to, these fields and these up here, right? So if we put it here, it's a little bit more centrally located for pretty much all of the fields. So that's kind of what we're thinking about doing, at least. So I guess we'll see what happens, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I don't think I'm going to reseed or re-drill those today. They're not the biggest fields in the world anyway, so it's not a huge deal in my eyes. Anyway, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Things are good, man. Things are good. I'm getting ready to be out of town for a little while, so I'm trying to get a bunch of these kind of recorded early. So there may be, a bit of time between something that you might have recommended, and I didn't do it in the next episode or the following episode for whatever reason, right? So maybe not so much on this series because we're only doing this once a week, but you get what I mean, right? So. But I am going to be gone for about a week of time. It was a pre-planned trip already that happened at the end of last year. It's my wife's family's trip, if you will. They've got a cabin, basically. So for us, it doesn't cost us anything, with the exception of having to drive there. So it's just the gas and the wear and tear and anything we want to do while we're there, food-wise, etc., in any of, activities or whatever, if it's not free activities, of course. That whatever that is, that's the only thing we have to pay for. It's a pretty inexpensive trip, so I don't go to it every year. My wife normally goes to this every single year. I don't normally do so, mostly because, well, quite frankly, I have two nieces that live really close to me, and then I have a niece and a nephew that do not. I see them maybe once a year, maybe if I'm lucky, normally around like Christmas time. But they're going this year, so I felt since they're going this year, that would be a good opportunity for me to see them a little bit more, so I'm going to go this year as well. So yeah, we're going to do that. It's not the entirety of that week. We're actually going to stay a couple extra days longer than what that trip normally would be. Normally it's just a really long weekend, but we're just taking a few extra days. And we're going to pop over and see some friends of mine that live in the Wisconsin area. They invited us up to do this festival, which we've never done before, but it sounds exciting. It's a beer, bacon, and cheese festival. Never done one of those before, but it's Wisconsin, right? So, the cheese is plentiful up there, right? So, we'll see, right? It sounds exciting, but it'll be good to see them for a couple of days. We're not staying very long, just basically 2.5 days is really what we're doing there. So, but again, realistically, it's a free trip besides the ticket we paid for that festival, and that festival ticket I think was like $20 or something like that. So it wasn't outrageously expensive. But yeah. Another place to stay for free. So really, besides just the driving and the gas, that we have to, put in to get there, and of course, gas right now is probably it's the worst time to be getting gas and doing a trip like that. But nonetheless, other than that, we're really not paying for much, right? So I expect that my wife and I will get around this trip by only using probably $200, probably maybe $300 with gas, maybe $300. Depends on the price of gas we get, of course, right? But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it'll be a good time. So, this one's on me this time. I'm going to be gone, because, like I said, it was already kind of pre-planned over 6 months ago. I think it was more like 8 months ago when we planned this, so. Some of those other ones that happened recently I told you about, you probably didn't even know, but, I had a weekend recently that, life got in the way. It wasn't planned, really, so, it happens. Things happen. But this one was. Yeah, hopefully you're doing well. We are getting this field put in with some canola. You can see it's a nice green color we're getting there in the left-hand corner on the map there of the nitrogen. So that's good, right? That's a good thing. That's what we want to see. We're going to need to get some lime down the rest of these fields. I'm not quite sure if I want to do the seeding first, or if I want to do the lime first. Really, I probably should be doing the lime first, realistically. So I probably will do that. Now, recently we talked about these fields down here, right? And I said I was going to combine them, and then I kind of, you know, rethought that a bit, and I was like, you know what? Let's just leave them as they are, but they can just be the same thing and drilled at the same time, so it'll be like one large field. We're just obviously still going to have those tracks going through the middle. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because if you do combine these fields together, you're not going to get the precision farming details for that strip in the middle of each of these, right? So I just kind of had a rethink, and I said to myself, you know what? Let's just keep them as they are, but we can all drill them at the same period of time, so then it's like harvesting one large field that way, right? So that's what we're doing. Right or wrong, that's what we're doing. Whoops. I don't know what's in the used market. When we get turned around here, we'll check out the used market, see what's in there, if there's anything for us at all or not. We do have $216,000 in the bank account, which is a nice place to be at. I honestly like to add another greenhouse potentially to Farm 1 today. If we can make that work. I don't know which kind of greenhouse or what we're going to do specifically, but I would like to add another one today. What do we got? So we've got a nice header still out here. There is another tractor, which would be nice for the second farm. It would be nice. I'm not quite sure it will do everything we need it to do, though. A lot of the stuff we have now is pretty large, and that only has, at most, 143 horsepower. So we'll think about that. This header, I know we were talking about it previously, but I don't know for sure if it would work or not. This would be nice if I don't know for sure, but if Farm 3 we decided to go more of a root crop, which is what I was initially kind of thinking, that would be nice to have. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with that root crop statement or not on Farm 3. We might. But that was my initial thought, was to do a root crop farm for Farm 3. The only other thing that I was even considering besides root crop was maybe doing something like a peas or like a green beans, one of these newer type of crops that we really haven't done a whole lot with. I mean, I guess we could maybe potentially do sugarcane too. I don't really do sugarcane very often, right? But like a peas or a green beans was the only real other thing I was thinking about. You know, grapes and olives, certainly that would be something that we don't do very often either, but I don't think I want to do that on this specific series. So whatever we do for Farm 3, which it's a little bit further away in the distance here, but whatever we do for that farm, it's literally going to be either peas and green beans, or it's going to be root crops, so red beets, parsnips, carrots, etc., right? It's going to be one of the two. Just because I do them occasionally, but they're not stuff I do very often, especially the green beans and the peas. I almost never do those, right? It's just because the harvester is so outrageously expensive for that, it just doesn't really seem feasible. Now, we do have the manual option, which we are doing a little bit in the island preservation, right? So we could go from the manual approach and do that, but, I mean, kind of the whole point of leaving Farm 3 for so long for right now is for us to be able to build up a good chunk of money so we can do something that maybe requires a little bit more of a larger piece of equipment, which the green beans and the peas would do, right? Sugarcane as well. Maybe to a lesser extent. There are a few mods for the sugarcane that you can use that you can harvest it. It's going to take a lot longer, but there are some mods you can use that are a little bit cheaper to harvest the sugarcane. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about for that. So we will see, I guess. But that's initially what I'm thinking. So, but again, that is a ways out, so I don't really need to be worried about that right now. I just brought it up because I saw that root crop harvester there in the used shop, and that would be nice to own if we went the root crop approach. But the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm kind of, thinking we're either going to do green beans, peas, or sugarcane. I don't really do sugar beets all that often either, but one of those crops that I don't do very often, right? I would say up to this point, before Farm 3, everything we're doing right now, for the most part, we do often, right? So, it would be nice, I think, to add for Farm 3 in this series something that I don't do as often, if that makes sense. Now, we've got a lot of fields to lime here. There's a lot of lime in here, but we know how fast lime gets chewed through, so I'm just going to fill this up. Did not cost much money to do so. All right, so you know what we got to do. We're going to get these fields limed. I'm going to get, let me go to this. I'm going to get field 85, 84, and 83 all limed. We're also going to do 78, which is a little bit further away. We're going to do all three of those fields with lime. Again, I'm not going to worry about fields 56 and 58 for right now until we decide what we're going to do with the yard, because the yard is going to happen here in the winter months. It's going to happen, right? We've got enough going on right now that it doesn't make sense to do it right now, but the yard change is going to be happening very, very soon. So, for the time being, let's get these fields all done. We'll get them drilled up to, we talked before about maybe just making 2 of these canola and then 2 of them maybe sunflowers. Looking at the map really quick before we jump into this, looking at the map really quick here after the autosave, of course, finishes. We've got quite a few already sunflower fields. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, when we harvest this one, it won't be anymore, right? But maybe we should leave 1 for sunflowers over here. Maybe I'll leave 83 for sunflowers. Yeah, probably do that. But anyway, we'll figure it out as we move along here. Like I said, I'm going to get into this. Okay, no field detected. All right. Okay. Really? Wonder why. That's a little weird, right? All right, well, whatever. We'll do it ourselves then, I guess. I guess maybe it doesn't really need it. I guess that could be the case, but I mean, the field should be detected though, so that's a little weird, right? All right, well, whatever. We'll do it ourselves. almost done with the 3 fields over here that we wanted to do. We do have a field all the way in the far, far distance that we still really should do, 78. I'd like to put canola in that one as well. That way we have a pretty good mix of canola and sunflower fields. So, yeah, we'll get this one done, and we'll head over there and do that. And then we can kind of look and see, well, that header's gone now, but we can kind of look and see about maybe the tractor potentially. You know, as a matter of fact, we probably can do that when we turn around here. So let's get to the end here. We'll turn around and put it on the GPS and the steering assist, the GPS steering assist. And we'll take a peek and see, you know, if that tractor can realistically do anything at all here for Farm 2. Because I do think we need a second tractor. It is finally time. We've got a lot of fields. It's going to get real busy as we continue on here. And we're going to need to utilize the worker a lot more often than we have been up to this point, right? So, just do that quick auto save really quick there, just in case we lose anything. So, let's see. What do we got here? Yeah, well, they're probably not going to use that, but we wouldn't probably use that anyway. There's no restriction on that, so I guess they could do that. They could pull some trailers for sure. They could do that one, which is the sunflowers, at least. Well, no, wait. It was only 140, wasn't it? So it can't even do that. Yeah, I'm, you know, as much as I want to do it, I don't think it's reasonable. I think we should be looking at a separate tractor altogether, you know, just buying one outright. So we'll probably end up having to do that. I also really need to roll these fields. You guys know that I hate rolling, but I really do need to roll these, so we probably should think about doing that as well. Let me see here. Let me see here. All right, so we've got 4 sunflower fields. Well, once we get rid of this one, it'll just be 3. You know what? I think I'm going to change plans here a little bit. Again, I feel like I do that often, but I think I'm going to. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do another canola field here on 83. I said I wasn't going to do that, but I think I'm going to do that, and I think I'll save 78 for sunflowers. Yeah, let's do that. You know, the other option I was thinking about while I was doing that time lapse, it was a long time lapse too, by the way. Sorry about that. But I was thinking, you know, we could go maybe with, you know, plot 97 here, or, you know, if we buy one of these, it's 87, I guess, 87. Yeah, there's all this empty land here. I don't know how flat this is, but it's obviously super expensive. So maybe not. Now that I said that, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, this land here looks relatively flat, so maybe we consider doing the yard here in this area? I know in FS22, I think I had a series that briefly happened, and I had a yard in this area, and it wasn't terrible. Maybe that's what we consider doing. I don't know. When you look at it, I mean, it looks flat, but when you get down low, it's not the flattest in the world, but nothing really here on Zielonka is. It's not, I mean, nothing super hilly or anything crazy, but there's little hills. What the heck was that? What did I just hit? There's nothing here. What? What is happening? What is that? That is bizarre. I've never, ever experienced that on this map yet. That is bizarre. What was that? Huh. Okay. Well, let's see. You know, like I said, we need to start getting a second tractor. We need to start using a worker more than we have been. So, let's look and see. We've got 222,000, which is a decent amount of money. We should be able to get something that can do a lot of what we're requiring here, right? In theory. You know, as long as it can do half of the stuff that we own, I think that's probably a pretty big win for us. So really, I guess I'm looking at this stuff down here. So 180 horsepower, I think, is at bare minimum what we want. We really want 200, but 180 is bare minimum what we want. So let's turn around here before I drive it into the lake again. You know, I've done that once before. Let's try not to have that happen again. So really, we want something around 200 horsepower. That's really what we want. Things are not the cheapest in the world around 200 horsepower. We could go with the Deutz Fahr. I've used this in the past. I've used it relatively often, as a matter of fact. It's a great tractor. It really is. Not outrageously expensive either. For the price, it's probably the best deal you're going to get. We could go with a big JCB. It's got 170 horsepower at current. We can bump it to 210, and it's 188,000. Doesn't give us a ton of money left, but we could go with that. So maybe the JCB is the way to go. There's also this Deutz Fahr here for 184. That's got 224 horsepower. I feel like that's the one to go with. I feel like that is the winner. But we'll keep looking here. Let me get turned around again. We'll keep looking. Okay, so the Deutz Fahr here for 184,000 was a good price. We're using the Fiat already. I don't want to use that one. We are using a Deutz Fahr now as well. It's not this one. It's a smaller one, much smaller one. In our triple threat challenge, so maybe potentially want to stay away from that. I guess we could go the versatile. I didn't even think about the versatile. 195 horsepower. 215, 197. Still gives us some money in the bank account. Yeah, maybe the versatile. Maybe that's the way to go. Let me get turned around here again. I do not want to get into that water. If at all possible, I really don't. What about large tractors? Is there anything out here large tractor-wise that's a little bit cheaper than that? You got these, but I mean, these are fine, but I don't really like the way that they maneuver, so they're kind of a no for me. Here's the T800, which is pretty much what we have right now, isn't it? 281 horsepower for $111,000 is very, very cheap. That is an amazing deal. Isn't the T... What do we have right now? Do we have the T800? No, we get the T8050. Way more horsepower than what I was just showing you. Yeah, I think maybe we just stick with the New Holland. You know, at that price is decent. It's over 200 horsepower, which will mostly do everything we want it to do right now. At some point, probably want to make an upgrade to it once we start getting even bigger equipment. But yeah, I think that might be the winner right there. We can get to 359 horsepower for 131 grand. That's crazy. That's more powerful than what we currently have. Wait a minute, that's the same exact one we have. T8050, isn't that the exact same one we have? Yeah, it's the exact same one we have. Okay. Well, you know, I'm fine to do another New Holland, but I don't necessarily want to get the exact same tractor. You know what I mean? Although that's really, for your money, that's probably the best deal you're going to get. So, yeah, I think maybe we go with the Deutz Fahr. The Deutz Fahr, however you say it. I don't know. Well, I've heard a lot of people say it different ways, so I don't know which way is the correct way to say it. Costs $2,000 more to go for a black setup. No, it costs $7,000 more. But it doesn't really do anything else besides just change the way it looks. I'm going to keep the 224 horsepower, I think. Wide tires, weights. We want beacons on it, yes. We'll do both. We'll keep that going. We'll put the fender on it. Basic animations is good enough for me. We own it now, gang. No going back. We own it. So I'm going to pull over here to the side for just a second. We're going to head up here and pick this up. This thing's nice, man. It's a beast of a tractor. It really is. We can't paint it to match, well, I guess if we did the Warrior version, you could. but we can't paint it to match, you know, our theme here for Farm 2, which is like a bluish color, right? Not going to be able to do everything. We already know that, right? So it is what it is. I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm just going to go straight right through here. If I ever owned this land, I'd probably put this shortcut in here, more than likely. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Because our yard's not going to be down here anymore eventually, right? So maybe not. Maybe not. They let that wither. That's quite a big field to let wither. That's a shame. Oh, I didn't mention, I think, but the canola oil is doing well. It's still chewing through it. It hasn't got through everything yet, but there's still quite a bit in there. We'll take a peek here in just a second. Let me get this lined up so I don't run into anything. So let's see. Here it is. 22,000 liters still to get through. It's got almost, well, a little over 6,500 liters in storage of canola oil. So it's working well. Just a time thing now. Just got to wait for it to actually finish the process. So, I know a lot of people are like, this is a waste of money. You're not going to get as much money out of it as you should. Where are we going here? What are we doing and where are we going here? Alright, there we go. It's fixing itself, finally. It's because the wheels were it was trying to unfold it and it was going that way. But I know I should not really probably put a worker on doing this, as all of you have 100% correctly mentioned many times before, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know, money is we don't have tons of money on this series, but it's not a huge issue for us anymore, right? With all of the greenhouses and everything we have, it's not really a big deal. We're making plenty of money. Plenty of money. We'll be back to $100,000 within a couple of months, right? So it's not a huge problem for me to spend some money on a worker, putting that down, even though the odds are we're going to make none or just a tiny bit of profit from utilizing a worker to roll some of these fields. But I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm okay with that. I want the highest yield I can get out of all these, because in the long run, we're going to make more money by putting it into an actual production and turning it into, canola oil or sunflower oil, whatever it end up being, right? So I'm okay with losing a little bit of money up front in the process of paying for the worker to gain a little bit of an extra yield for the long run. Well, it's acting like I don't need to reseed this little section here, but it clearly has not been seeded. It is clearly a different texture. It still has the lime on it. It's weird, right? It's kind of weird that maybe the nitrogen kind of spilled out over there, and that's why it's showing that, but I don't know. It just seems a little weird. But it's clearly not seeded. These fields are going to be in fantastic shape, though, especially if we get them all rolled. Fields are going to be great. Going to be absolutely great. finally done. Didn't take too long. This is working well. It's a fantastic tractor for doing this rolling, honestly. It's working really well. So, can't really complain too much, right? We got 2 tractors now, which is going to be a huge, huge help as we move along. I know I said I wanted to get a greenhouse down today. I just don't think we're going to have the time to do it since we decided to do all 4 of these fields and roll them. And then I forgot about the liming of them, right? It just took us a little bit longer than I anticipated, but that's okay. We can put it down a greenhouse at any point. So we'll probably wait and do the greenhouse in the next episode, I would assume. Next episode, I don't think we're going to have an absolute ton of things to do next episode. I don't think there's anything sunflower-wise we can do. I don't think there's any harvestings that can happen or drilling. Oh, I am incorrect. There will be sunflower harvest next month. That's okay. That's all right. We'll still take care of it next month. It's not going to be a big deal. Or we'll take care of it in the winter months. It really doesn't matter, right? I was just going to add it because I thought, you know, it wasn't going to take as long today to do what we did already as it did. So, that's okay. We are going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button on the case you've yet to do so. They are free. They help me out an absolute ton. Thanks to my members for all their continued support. If you want early access to videos like this one, including a members-only series, there's a link down below. Check my second channel out if you're interested in anything that's not Farming Simulator related that I might be doing. I'm doing Red Dead Redemption and Tomb Raider Underworld at current. Not a daily video release on that other channel, but it's normally every other day or every couple of days. You know, normally. When I'm gone though, there is a little bit of a hiatus every once in a while. You know, 4 or 5 days, something like that. Every once in a blue moon. But if I'm around, I normally have a video out every other day or every 2 to 3 days at a bare minimum. So there's a Discord down below as well if you're interested in that. That Discord will get you access to share anything that you may be working on. Live stream, YouTube videos, images, whatever it may be. You also get access to everything that I share. I put it up there on that channel, and you can have discussions as well, of course. Thanks so much for watching. As always, thanks so much for your continued support. It really does mean a lot to me, and I'll see you next time.